we go. I do believe we're live. So I'll say indeed and greetings for today. It is a dear pleasure having you here again on another conscious evolution. Today's stream topic is about upliftment, about how when you uplift yourself, you, by definition, uplift everyone else. I think at least. Because the most uplifted version of you has this capacity to go and uplift others. And then, vice versa, when you uplift another, you are also uplifting yourself. All right. Yesterday we talked a little bit about anger, about why we are as angry as we are, about the things that make us angrier than other things. And one of the things that kind of kept coming back up in me as a node is that I get enraged by the opposite of upliftment, right? If I'm experiencing something that is breaking me down in character, in possibility, in capacity to do things, that makes me very angry because it feels like an injustice. It feels like an injustice not only onto myself, but because I am being subdued instead of being uplifted, it's an injustice towards every single person I'll come into contact with. And I've been thinking about this a lot. Yesterday, I felt very angry. I don't feel as angry today. I feel I do have the exact same amount of reason to feel just as angry, but at the same time, I don't. And I think that that ability to not is directly like linked to this idea of upliftment, right? And upliftment isn't necessarily always just words of support or words of kindness. I don't think, at least. Upliftment to me today was just standing, standing alongside me, right? Feeling like I have support, feeling like I have the room to feel like I'll be okay, even if I stand for the things that I stand for. And I want to stand up for those things with you, friends, today. It's nice to be here. It's hot. It's still pretty hot. That part didn't change. It's humid as well. But the trees and the plants are absolutely exploding with growth. So I'm sure they're very happy about it. They're uplifting. Yeah, they're uplifting themselves right now. And seeing all of the green is uplifting me. I think so. Appreciate you, friends, for being here with me right now. If you are, sending you love, sending you blessings, sending you hope, sending you upliftment. I don't know if I'm in the sun. I'm pretty sure I'm not in the direct line of sunlight, but it's still, I'm still uncomfortable. Maybe I just have to bear with it a little bit. Take some breaths. Take some moments to consider this experience that I'm a part of. It's a it's a lot. I'll say that at least. Good morning to you, Neon. First commenter. Look at us being here. It's nice to have you here, friends. To the ones who comment, to the ones who lurk, to the ones who comment until they lurk, to the ones who lurk until they comment. To every single one of us, I love you. You're great. You're awesome. You will change the world by just being here. Thank you for being a great person. I want to keep dropping voice lines of upliftment. I love you. You have changed my life, dear friends. You have given me so much hope to be who I am. I did end up writing a poem about yesterday's topic, about the whole being angry thing. Look at us! Look at us! Look at us! Huzzah! Huzzah! Say huzzah! I don't know if huzzah does the same thing for you that it does for me, but saying huzzah makes me happy. Huzzah to us, Neon. I'll read you yesterday's poem because I think it's a good one before I partake of my Dynavap. I've been good! at not vaping before 4 p.m. Look at us following through with what we wanted to do. And that's not been an issue. That's the other thing that's really cool to me as well. So that Dynavap isn't necessarily calling to me. It can just chill there. I have other things to do before I can get to that. And I think that's been the energy of, okay, yeah, smoke weed, nice, cool, and whatever. But first, all of these things. And then I actually realized that I enjoy all of these things. And then I eventually still get to enjoy some miniature wonders too. I'm going to close this for a second. Do I have to? Guess not. Maybe I can show it to you like this. There's a little window of me. There's today's art, Tri-Flower, and then it's called Rage Reborn. It is super happy. Nice. I'm happy that we get to feel smile. Right? Talking about the flower. You feel the flower is happy? I do like that centerpiece. I am happy with how it turned out as well. Rage Reborn. Today's stream. Well, today's poem, right? Available on patreon.com. It starts in the pit. A fire, a gnawing, a scream clawing its way through clenched teeth. Anger sharpens at being unheard, unseen, a shadow in the bright chaos of louder voices, a pawn in games you didn't play. Look at them goosebumps. Yeah. A pawn in games you didn't play. That gets me. Because again, as I said at the start, right, as soon as my demeanor, as soon as I'm being repressed, as soon as I'm being dragged down into the mud by other people's choices, right, by games other people are playing, that that sharpens my anger because I didn't play these games and I'm still being affected by them. Unfair, I say. It roars like thunder, demanding reckoning for the hours stolen, for the love dismissed, for the worth denied, for every dream crushed under indifferent heels. It burns, this rage at the world that spins blind and deaf, fueled by its own selfish momentum. It stings, this ache of being less valued, less needed, less known. But wait. In the ashes of fury, a whisper rises. You are here. You breathe. You see yourself now clearly through the smoke of expectation. And so you stand, not because they grant you space, but because you take it. Not because they finally look, but because you no longer lead their eyes to know your worth. Anger becomes strength. It builds calluses where wounds once gaped. It shapes resolve, a fortress rising from the rubble. And through and though the fire still flickers, it warms now, guides now, fuels now, not just molten but recast. This world will not hold you back. Your hands will carve their own place. Your voice will echo unyielding, no longer waiting for approval. You've decided to exist fully, loudly, gloriously. In your defiance, you are free. In your anger, you are reborn. Fucking love that poem. It goes hard. It goes so hard. I got flustered in reading it a little bit. But yeah. 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 No longer. No longer needing others' eyes. No longer needing others' eyes. All right. Uplifting. Uplifting yourself like little embers flying from the fire. Going all the way up and becoming a part of the stars. The flickering above us continues indefinitely. I like it. I like you. Hot damn, Mojo. You like it too? Bless you, friends. Good morning. Dream and Rabbit. Dream Tooth's here too. Even Loazana. All of you so quickly. It is similar to the others, but very good. My poetry should be similar, right? I feel like I try with my poetry to say something, right? Like there's something to be said. And that's what I do with my streams as well, in some way, right? We come up, we ask the universe to provide us with a stream topic, a poem. It's just, for me at least, like a short little snippet, like a little slice, right? There's so much that happens behind our eyes, behind our personas, behind our demeanors, behind our expression of self, that I feel it's a nice little snippet to look through. I'm so happy that you friends like it too. I'm going to add some heat to this Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue sounds like like a hectic name for a strain, but so be it. So be it, I say. This induction heater got charged by sunlight today. Isn't that cool? I did share with you friends that I got a solar panel for the battery. Makes me super happy that this stream is being powered off solar energy right now. Feels like it gives me an extra reason to not be enraged. I am so very angry. And I have good reason to be. I pat myself on the back and saying, I think all of us have good reason to be. However, using our anger for upliftment feels like the best thing we can hope to do. Realizing that we're not angry at the person, but we're angry at actions. We're not angry at the character, but we're angry at the choices that are made. And in being angry about these things, we communicate something, right? We communicate a unwillingness to let it slide, right? Forgiveness is letting the world off the hook. You ever heard that quote? Forgiveness is letting the world off the hook, realizing that you haven't been harmed, right? And I don't know if forgiveness is necessarily an antidote to anger, but learning about why you get angry, I think, helps. This thing that I consider upliftment, I feel is like one of my biggest drivers, right? I refuse to watch someone ruin their own life. If they're close enough for me to see, I refuse. I cannot. I cannot stand by and say nothing. And I'm willing to admit that if I could stay quiet, my life would be so much easier. Such an easy life. And imagining it, it seems so tranquil. I seem to be very unangry, very unworried about other people's problems, very unworried about the world and its state. I seem so at peace. Wow. But again, I don't think that peace is real. I think it's more like an illusionary peace. It's like an ignorance. It's kind of type of ignorance. It's a blissful ignorance, I'll say. I'll agree. And I do not know if I can blissfully ignorize. No, I refuse. I will not. Bless you again. I see Jovan here with us saying good morning. The cold weather got me extra cozy and I'll probably doze back off. Loving you, Lovazana, Meow Lao, Neon, Mojo, Melt, and more. We love you too, Zhao. Do get some extra rest. I slept 10 and a half hours today. I slept like at 11 last night. And then I woke up at like 20 minutes past 7. Went to the bathroom and then went right back to sleep and then slept another 4 hours. Slept a lot. And I feel good about it. I feel like kind of rested, I feel okay. I think yesterday, in part, being as angry as I was because I was sleep deprived. All right. I didn't even mention sleep depravity being a reason for angry, but definitely checks out. Of course, you have a signature style. This is the way. Hi Mel, perception, the I'm guessing balances. Perception balances with expression. Am I understanding that correctly? Perception balance with perception. The sun is giving extra energies. It literally is. We had like massive coronal ejections recently. Hey Google. Of course. Let me do it like this instead. I think it might be for the best. Massive coronal ejections that just happened. Yeah. Is it this one? All of these videos are a year old. This feels pretty old, but this is what a coronal ejection looks like. It's gonna loop around now any second. It's gonna happen on this side. Come on, son, do the roar. Look at that. So that happened recently again, like a bunch of those. Like so much energy. Like a lot. Like a lot of energy. So we might be getting blasted, and that definitely is adding some energies, right? And I mean, it is literal plasma, right? Fiery rage. Stand in the face of it. Feels pretty angry. Is the sun angry? That sounds like a question. It is a ceaseless explosion. I think in our vocabulary, we would probably assign explosion to anger, right? If we had to have like a list of words and we had to link them up, right? Uh, soft breeze would probably be associated with calm, and nuclear, like 5,000 nuclear explosions per second, would probably be associated with anger. Is the sun angry? I have found myself angry at the sun. I think that can be one way to think, right? Like if I find myself standing in direct sunlight, especially if I have to be a specific place, right? If I have to stand somewhere, and then it just so happens that the sun has a direct line of sight with me, then suddenly I'm also a little bit angry. Dream tooth laughing. What? What? You think the sun is angry too, or are you just laughing at the thought of it? Our human perception is an interesting thing, huh? Because again, the sun is a cosmic being. Do you like the way that sounds? The sun is a cosmic being. And for us to assign things like anger to a cosmic being, right? And this is where I kind of fall apart with the whole believing you know the will of God, or you know what God is like, or you know what God is and isn't affected by or influenced by. All right? Again, let's just say, is God angry? And if God is angry, what does that look like? Right? I am of the worldview that all of us collectively, everything is this thing we call God, right? That there is no separation from this thing we call God. And in that way, I do not attach a face to it. I do not attach a, I want to say a will to it. I will attach a desire to it, but I feel desire is more primordial than will, a little bit in that way. So, can anger exist in a system like that? Can judgment? That may be a hot one as well. Can judgment exist in something like that? My mind verbalizes and articulates that everything is, including judgment, and in that way, God is the parts of the everything that you attach to. Right? If you attach to the parts of God that is resentful, that is judgmental, that is angry, that is hateful, that is murderous, that is, I want to say maniacal. Is that the right word? Hey Google, define maniacal. Exhibiting extreme wild or violent behavior. Yeah, yeah, extremely wild. Like the gods we've been taught by, have been pretty wild, extremely so. Right, killing all people on Earth multiple times. I mean, not exactly multiple times. One time, and then saying you won't do it again, but then still killing whole cities of people. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop going down that rabbit hole. I believe in the part of God that uplifts, the part of God that hopes, the part of God that looks forward to the future, the part of God that wills, right? Because there is some sort of power in willing yourself to do something. In fact, I believe it's kind of righteous. I think it's kind of like it's like good, makes you a better person, if we can say it in words that uh, can be triggering, right? It makes you a better person. Not to my eyes, to my eyes too, not to the world's eyes, to the world's eyes too, but specifically to your own life. If you can will yourself to do the things that you love, will yourself to do the things that are hard, your life will get better because of that. Of so many options. There's so many other things I can do, Melt, than will myself, of course, right? Why would I will myself to do anything else when I can do anything else? And then do that. Is that a Connor? Hey bro, how's that part of the conversation treating you? We're talking about willpower a little bit right now, and how applying some willpower to the upliftment of others, I feel is pretty righteous. There's an earthworm on the bricks here. I'm gonna put him back in the ground. You're so far lost, bro. Where are you at? He is gonna lose his mind a little bit. Look at that earthworm. I'm gonna put him in the dirt. Go and be where the dirt is, little wormy. You will not find any room to live inside the concrete, I promise you. Dunes, all is well. Bless again. Dissociate, definition is disconnect. Yeah. God, melt words. I don't know with you, Dreamtooth. That's the thing, right? I wouldn't have been surprised if you used the word I can dissociety disconnect. Dissociety. I was like, maybe tunes mean something by that. LA, sorta. Am I missing one? You got the day off. Okay, sorta. They told us to stay home because of the weather. Winter advisory says everyone needs to stay off the roads. I'm staying under my blanket. It's nice. They sound nice and cozy. Send some wharf shows way. Oh, something bit me. Did something bite me? Does kind of feel like it. Someone discovered a little bump on my back. Baby worm. They get 10 times or 20 times that size here. They get about 10 times that size here. Has it found the dirt? I mean, it is. It knows that it's on dirt now, at least, but it's still not inside of it. My willpower is to move out and go to the big city to make dollars to support my fam down the line. That's a good thing to use your willpower for, Connor. Going to the big city to make dollars to support the fam down the line. Yeah. Instantly, my mind goes down. Questions. All right. Cities used to be the place where you could make money. There's a lot of demand there for a great deal, many services and experiences. You have a job already? Maybe that's the question to ask. Joe can't handle a little snow. I don't know if I would be able to. Right? I've handled some ice before, and you can only handle it for so long until you have to put it down. Should I become a vampire? You have a choice? Jeez, bro. I thought I thought we just kind of get bit and then you are a vampire. If I could become a vampire, I might. If being a vampire meant that I can never go into the sunlight again, I still might. I would just become very glamorous. I would 100% have a whole closet full of umbrellas as well. And I would have a certain type of clothing. If you're a vampire, are you still hot? Or is being hot directly something to do with being alive? Sounds like a deal to me. I was out playing in the snow yesterday, but it was the powdery kind that won't pass a snowball test. Well, it's all. Mm, that is. That is a shame. I overheated my Dynavap, but I didn't pull a lot of the plant material. I didn't actually heat the rest of the plant material to the temperature. I still have to clean it. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. This will not be tolerated. I'll be back in a second. Okay, it won't pack a snowball well. That's why I added like test. I was like, pass the snowball test. Ice storm. Yeah, I love when down south gets snow or ice. They shut down literally the entire state. But I have heard the storm is really bad. Cold front is just a chill guy. Yeah, I heard so as well. Apparently, like they're letting people know that the roads will be iced over. The roads will be iced over, so you shouldn't really drive. And I feel like it is probably an experience thing where if you have been driving on icy roads and you have the right tires, it's just something that you do. But if it only comes around like once a year or twice a year or whatever, now suddenly this is an actual canon event. All right, it's pretty novel. Doesn't happen all the time. And then people crash their cars and die. Sorry about that. So it's better to just stay home, right? We can capitalism tomorrow again. But right now we're going to stay warm. I'm running out of little Q-tips. These are the bamboo kinds, so not little single-use piece of plastics. Yeah, it ain't scorched earth in there, but hey, bro! How dare you? Flying into my eyeballs. Not cool, dude. I saw it's crazy stuff on YouTube last week. This is Armageddon type event. Yeah, it's been Armageddon type of eventing here in South Africa as well. Not really Armageddon as in like end of the world as in it's bad. But we got about half and a bit of all the rain we can expect a year in the last 3 weeks. It has been pretty bonkers. And it has been an experience kind of just coping with it. Like, yeah, This is the new normal now. Insane weather events. Hey, what's up, Diggs? By the way, number 7. I'm doing well, dude. Like, unironically, and I'm saying this probably because I should, but really, I'm doing even better now that you're here. My name's Melt. It's nice to meet you. We do one of these streams every day, and then we try and talk about something, right? I call the some things we talk about conscious evolution because I believe that we've been evolving as a species for a very long time, and we still ought to continue to evolve, even though we are pretty far along. And in that way, most of the evolution that would have happened physically, right, for us to be these things. And most of the evolution that will happen now going forward will be consciously, as in using our minds to think for ourselves and reevaluate the decisions that we've been making, try and do things differently, try and pay attention to how our minds keep arising over and over again. I, for example, find myself being very angry as a person. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to consciously evolve past. Takes time, but everything does, right? Everything worth it takes a little bit of time. I've been lightheartedly calling it Snowmageddon. I don't think it's as bad as they projected. They were worried about power outages, ice freezes, and breaking limbs from trees. I'm guessing falling on power lines. Yeah, checks out. There's not that much wind then. Did they predict it was going to be like very like energetically hectic? Or I'm guessing that's probably why it was like a whole thing. Mm, thank goodness we're good. Bless. How long is it supposed to last, yo? I was wondering about that as well. I know today was the day that it was going to be bad, right? That's basically as much as the memo as I got. I really wish I had my tweezers here with me right now. Should I go and get them too? I shall do so. Sorry for leaving you here all by your lonesome. I'll be back in 1 second. Oh. Meow meow. When? Yeah, we have pretty tame winter, but they were saying it was supposed to go below 0 for a while. 0 Fahrenheit? Wintry mix until 7 p.m. There were heavy winds too. The snow hurt yesterday when it was pelting my face. Yeah. I feel especially foreign when I hear you friends talking about snow the way you do. Still something I haven't experienced. You know what I'm thinking about right now? I'm thinking about why I'm as obsessed as I am with upliftment. And my mind is kind of like doing this dual perspective reasoning, where on the one side it reasons, I have already experienced a lot of upliftment. And on the other side, it argues that I should never settle for less. I don't know if that's necessarily the healthiest way to go about things. However, I do resonate with it. Settling for less doesn't feel doesn't feel very story worthy. All right. Oh yes, I fell in love with this beautiful girl, and then after we started talking, I started dating her friend instead, because her friend seemed more interested. I don't know, I don't know what that comparison was. My mind was going down this rabbit hole of you you have this thing, this person you love, and then you go and be with someone you don't have this thing with. You don't have this relationship and this uplifted experience with, right? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I think you're doing both of yourselves a disservice in that way. Oh my, suddenly my mind opens the rabbit hole of in how many ways we have disserviced one another by our actions. I think all of us probably have a story of our own. And then adding some balance by thinking about all of the ways that we did the opposite, right? How we benefited other people by our decisions, how we uplifted other people by our decisions. I appreciate you, friends, for uplifting the May, uplifting May the way you do. This sounds reasonable. Don't not love your mind, but don't love it too. That actually happened to me once. Oh, yeah. That feels, yeah. And like, how do you feel about this whole disservice, right? Maybe that's a little bit of a loaded question. I don't think we want to think about it all the time. I know that love is true and that it ought to be. It ought to be true, right? Like from a place of willpower almost. To feel this is true to the point where you make it so, right? To take a certain, again, point of righteousness, even. Like, nah, bro, I will not settle for less. I'm not going to settle for less. I'm just not. Not because I am egotistical, not because I think I'm better than other people, but simply because it would be a disservice to myself and everyone in my life forever. Right? And then once you start reasoning like that, it becomes easier to be like, nah, 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 meh, still don't settle for less, and still continue uplifting. There's got to be somewhere where they align, continue uplifting, and don't settle for less. I think in that way, I think I understand what you're sharing, right? Because in the process of uplifting, there is a potential value integer. And then after someone has been uplifted, we could argue they used to be less beforehand. All right. So in that perspective, I feel I am resonating. So my mind is going down this rabbit hole of thinking about people that date other people because they want to fix them. Right. And in that way, they settle for less in hopes of uplifting this person. So I really do feel what you're saying. There's gotta be somewhere where they align. I think that's exactly where they align. Is where you will settle for less in a type of relationship or a type of exchange in hopes that you can make more of it, right? That you can uplift it to a point where it is no longer the less that you settled for. And I feel like there is something to be said about that as well. Something good to be said about that. Like it's good that we can do that, that we can use a little bit and make a lot of it. Right? I feel like there's even like a whole topic we can go into talking about that as an energy transmutation thing. However, when it comes to the things that we kind of like face day by day, it's almost like if you keep settling for less, right? It's like a settling for less thing that happens iteratively over and over again. At that point, you have lowered your investment base. To say it in so many words. Melt your serving. Don't forget about completeness. Completeness. No one's going to argue with you about it. Having completed helping somebody. Hmm. I agree with you on that, right? Like I'm going through my mind to imagine all of the ways I have settled for less in hopes to help somebody. And my mind is doing a few things in consideration thereof. Right? One of the things it's doing is again, like the whole duration thing. How long are you willing to settle for less? Because I don't think the pain lessens the longer you settle. I think it's like a compounding thing. Like the first year, it's fine. The second year, you are worried. The third year, you're losing your mind. The fourth year, you're in a state of desolation. The fifth year, you're wondering why you're doing any of it, right? Like it just gets but like exponentially worse and worse because you are almost showing yourself over and over again that you're worth less, right? If you're settling for it, maybe you're not telling that to yourself, but the world at large might feel like that's the narrative that it's trying to convince you of. And I'm here to tell you that you're not worthless, worth less. You are worth more, a lot more, and more, and more still, and then more. You have that idea in your head? Okay, now more than that, and then more than that as well. And then if you think that that's too much, then put more, then put more. And then if you think like this is twice as much as the too much I thought it was when you said more the previous time, put more again. One more time. One more time. And then maybe, and then maybe we'll be close. Things in one hand don't weigh against the energy in the other. I don't know if I believe that, Dreamtooth. Again, you just mentioned wholeness, bro. And in wholeness, things in one hand literally weigh against the energy in the other, right? If I'm for example, if I have two very heavy bags, right, equally heavy on the ground, the best way for me to go about moving said heavy bags is to take one heavy bag in one hand and one heavy bag in the other hand. Because energetically, that's the best way to be, balanced. However, if I decided to carry both heavy bags only in one hand, now suddenly my whole body is like twerked to the side, and like this hand is like up here in the air as I'm shimmying these two heavy bags by my sides, right? So they don't scrape against my legs. So yeah, I think, at least in my world, energetically, things in one hand do weigh against things in the other. But again, I'm talking purely in the realm of the physical. Do these rules apply? I do believe in as above, so below. And I do believe that there is power and balance. A lot of power and balance. I'm still trying to find my balance. I feel unbalanced right now a little bit. But all of these things do change in time as well. So grows our perspective. I think settle for less might be a little too vague. Maybe this kind of dependent. maybe this is kind of dependent on one of those, on one's self-worth. I think we were going down the same rabbit hole. But knowing and respecting your boundaries is important. Don't let disrespect drag you down. It's interesting that you use that word, Joe. Disrespect. Disrespect. Especially since we're talking about not settling for less, right? Not settling for anything other than respect. And in that way, disrespect causing us to not settle ever. I resonate with that, Joe. I think it's good wisdom that you share. Settle for less might be a little too vague. I do try and keep things vague in that way. Because in that, my allowing for there to be room in being vague, it gives you room to fill in the blanks. I'm quickly gonna see if I can silence something. Hey, Yuri! There we go. Should be back again. There was dogs licking themselves again just to the side of me, and I just turned my microphone off to go, hey, stop that. Can you stop that? Settling for less, right? We talked a little bit about that yesterday as well. How that's one of the things that I find myself very aware of. Audible stimulation. Keep loving, keep uplifting, but it's okay to love from afar if the relationship is at the detriment of a healthy mind. I think you're completely right, Sean. I feel it's hard for us to come to that conclusion, right? That the best thing we can do for that person is love them from afar. Realizing that the love we're so desperately trying to give is falling on the ground and being wasted by trying to give it to someone who has their arms crossed and are unwilling to take what you're trying to give. You didn't mute. My eardrums are now bleeding. Are you serious? I hope you're not serious. I really do hope you're not serious. Tell me you're not serious. Say psych. Say psych right now, Connor. Suddenly the I'm old message got disappeared. I saw something. I'm old. You're only as old as you believe you are, bro. This is what I believe, at least. You're only as old as you believe you are. And I do not believe myself to be very old right now. I don't believe you to be very old either. I'm 110%. Oh, okay. That 110%, right? That extra 10% of serious is what convinced me. Good luck at the hospital. I'm just imagining Connor like connecting my live stream to, for some reason, like $10,000 worth of sound equipment. And he's had me like maxed out on gain this whole time. And then when I raised my voice to get the attention of the deaf dog licking himself in earshot, absolutely blasted his ear holes to the point of him needing to go to the hospital. I'm so sorry, Connor. I'm so very sorry. I would say send me the hospital bill, but then both of us will be bankrupt. Not funny. I wasn't really joking about that. I was more like doing some political commentary. I still don't know. I'm still like, bro. I have tism. The 110%. Like, there's only like, it cannot be 110%. Tells me that you're not being serious. I still don't know though. No, I don't believe you. uh, do I have some little kiff left. Let's see. There is a little bit. Nice. Love is true. This stream is coming to its end. I think I will finish it with you, friends. We'll experience this Dynavap together, and then we'll start up the next one. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. What a stream. I'm trying to wrap all of our ideas up in my mind as well. We showed up with the willingness to talk about uplifting one another, this topic of upliftment morphed a little bit into willpower. Willpower morphed a little bit into what we're willing to settle for, right? Willing ourselves to settle for more. It's making me understand that uplifting one another is not an easy task. His mouth says he doesn't believe. His face says he needs closure. Yes. I'm still not actually sure because it hurts me to imagine I did hurt your friends' ear holes with my. Hey! And I like how you're giving me a message as well that doesn't give me the closure that I want, right? Because I was even thinking about this show. It's like I want someone else to go. He's joking, Mel. He's just joking. You did in fact mute your microphone before going a little bit louder. Still not sure. I'm sure. I turned the microphone back on again. I'm sure there wasn't a green light. It might have been one of those things where I turned it off here and then it turned on there or something. And light beams. Light beams. Beams of light coming through my being and going into this world. Coming out of my being and going into the all. Beams of light connecting with all of y'all's. Realizing that we are ultimately connected. And in this connection, all we can hope to do is uplift ourselves, uplift one another, realizing that we are all one. Supported by the same whole that we are sometimes feeling hurt by, sometimes feeling betrayed by, sometimes feeling taken from, sometimes feeling things should be different. I appreciate you, friends, for being here, showing up. I love you, and I'll see you again real soon. In the next horizontal stream at the very least, and if not, tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.